Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. It is a new day. We thank the good Lord it's a new day. Thank God it is a new day. So good to see you. Thanks for stopping by again. It's me again, WJ on our channel, One Life, Many Seasons. We got something really interesting here. The impact of the U.S. elections. It's not just here domestically. It impacts the global world. So people in Africa are getting involved. They have their concerns, they have their perceptions, they have their conclusions, what they think, what happened, how it's going to impact them. So we're just going to go through and listen to a few people. And then at the end, we're going to come to someone who is a very impactful person in Africa, from Kenya, actually. PLO Lumumba. He's a lawyer. He's an activist. He's an advocate for justice, human rights, good governance. You must have seen him at some point in time. But I think this is important. This tells us how important the U.S. election is. It's not just for the U.S. It impacts the global world. And a lot of countries, if not all, take their notes from the U.S. Whatever happens in the U.S. impacts, it's a reflection of what could be happening in their country as well. So why don't we go and see what they are saying on the streets, and then we'll end with PLO Lumumba's insight on what he thinks about the elections. Let's go.
I'm grateful that Donald Trump has won this election because he stands for what we in South Africa stand for in terms of immigration, stricter borders, border control. What he can do for South Africa, well, I don't expect anything much because none of the American president, even Barack Obama, have done nothing for South Africa or Africa. So in terms of that, there isn't much we are expecting.
Wow. He just called out Obama there. He said, we're not expecting much. We know he's just happy Trump won because they're for the same policies in South Africa where he's from. So, but he's not really expecting much. At least that's what he says. And then calls out Obama, saying Obama did nothing for us. So we're not expecting anything. Let's just keep on going.
I'm expecting a lot to see happening between the two countries, economy-wise. Maybe exchange programs for students and stuff like that.
Eric Mwanda was rooting for Trump's Democratic opponent, Vice President Kamala Harris.
Because she understands the people. I feel like the other one is a bit too racist.
He might start releasing executive orders that will resign, for example, Kenya's designation as a NATO non-major ally. He might just scale down on his support on the Haitian post-conflict reconstruction problem. So the $300 billion pledged, I don't know how much has been paid so far. You might just find him, growing cold feet and saying that's not his problem and scaling that down.
He says other policies could also shift depending on the country.
Countries like Uganda will benefit because Trump will not really put pressure on them the way the Biden administration put on them because of their LGBTQ+.
So there you have that. All types of reactions going on the street. In Africa. This is something. And as it should be. And I think it really kind of enlightens everybody as well and lets us know, hey, whatever we're doing here, whatever the U.S. is doing, impacts the rest of the world in a much bigger way than we even know, especially this day of the internet, social media. Everything transcends everything. But it's good to hear, to see how they think and what they feeling and what their expectations are. But now that's the word on the street, right? So now let's go to someone who understands a little bit more than just the street. PLO Lumumba. Let's listen to what he has to say. Let's go.
And you remember at one time when Trump was the president, he also had very tough words against NATO, asking them to pick up the bills. So I am of the view, which is subject to being second guessed, that a Trump presidency may very well be the presidency that will quicken the end of the wars. That is my own view. But easier said than done. One must be cautious in making such statements.
He's of the view that Trump would help facilitate ending the wars quicker than the Biden or Harris administration. That's the notion. That's the understanding. That's what I believe as well. But let's just keep on listening.
I've always held the view that nothing changes dramatically. And I say this because the United States foreign policy, when one talks about Kenya or Africa, remains fundamentally constant. But there are those who observe, and I'm one of them, that during Republican presidencies, the United States of America does appear to support many more programs than during the Democratic presidencies, which is full of rhetoric and short on action.
Wow. Basically, moral of the story there, under the Republican administration, the foreign policies are stronger. They're more impactful than under the Democratic administration. He's throwing shades. Let's keep on listening.
And I am of the view that the United States of America is going to be very active in Africa as a reaction to China and Russia, and as a reaction to other players such as the Emiratis and the Turks. The United States of America is a country that cannot be ignored. It still has the strongest economy in the world. It is hegemon militarily. It is a strong nation. Economically, is a strong nation. And the reality of the world is that the law of the jungle is still alive and well, is survival of the fittest, the dying of the least suitable. And in truth, power still springs from the barrel of the gun. So we in the continent of Africa must pay attention. You remember that the United States of America has bases in a number of African countries, and going forward, we must define, particularly in the continent of Africa, we must define how we are going to engage with the United States of America. And my considered view is that a strong Africa will be able to engage in a much more creative and symbiotic way. A weak Africa will be manipulated by the United States of America, notwithstanding who is the president of that country after the 5th day of November, and of course after inauguration in the month of January 2025.
Well, there's a whole lot in there. But one thing is for sure, that election, the just concluded election in the U.S., the world was watching. The world was listening. And now, just as we're making changes in the administration, making shifts, there's a global shift as well, because everybody adjusts. If Kamala had won, it'd be a different adjustment. Now that Trump has won, it's a different adjustment. It's impacting everybody, and everybody is feeling the shift in power. But we are looking forward to January 20th, whenever the inauguration is going to be in the change and transfer of power. I just pray that everything goes smoothly, there are no issues, and we grow together as a country, as a nation, and together in the world. That was a lot. Please drop in the comment section below what you think about that. The words on the street, it's so clear. There are mixed feelings on the street. Yeah, as it should be. You can never expect everybody to have the same opinion or the same perspectives. But I also like the way PLO Lumumba closed it out for us. So we'll just leave it right there. Please drop your comments in the comment section below. Let us know what you think. If there are other things other videos like this that you would like to see, please drop in the comment section below as well. I'm trying to extend out of just the U.S. because I think it's important we see how the rest of the world are thinking, are seeing things, are seeing us as well. And to me, that really fosters a great relationship that we need in the globe, because everybody's here in the U.S. anyway. Everybody in the globe is here in the U.S. So whatever's done here in the U.S. impacts everybody in the world somehow, some way, some shape, some form. Hey, you know how we like to close it out? We just like to remind ourselves that we always remember that we got one life with many seasons. So let's make the best of it. God bless you, and I'll see you soon. You take care now. Bye for now.